Born as Du Potmolita, the world knows her as Apple, the most famous Cambodian makeup artist. Here is a candid interview of her life, career, and advice brought to you by EAC Entertainment.
Why did you decide to have Apple as your stage name?
I think I like apple because, as you know, Cambodia doesn't have apple. As soon as I grow up and I get to taste apple, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing fruit. So it's like a fancy fruit and only special occasion for my family because we was really poor. So it's only Khmer New Year or only like special ceremony that we can afford an apple. And normally I get a slice of it. So cut to my college years, I get to have a little money salary from my mom every month that I come to Phnom Penh. I would eat apple every day. And my Australian teacher had a really hard time trying to say my real Du Potmolita name. So he's like, well, I'm just going to call you Apple because I'm always having apple on my table. So I thought that was like a really nice name. And that's also like my tribute of like staying for my English knowledge because it brought me to my career and a lot of things. Without education in English, wouldn't be here today. So I go with Apple as a reminding. It's the first letter I learned when I learned English. And it's my favorite fruit. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of your education and career, so how did you start it in this? Where did the journey go through?
Funny story. I never thought I want to be a makeup artist. My mom used to introduce the idea when I finished high school, but I'm like, I don't know much about it. I don't want to run around. I think my perception of what makeup artists do is running around on set and touching people's sweat. And I would like to be sitting in the office, being respected as, having a good education, travel the world, and I just didn't see the job as I seen it right now. So I never thought about doing it. But one day my friend made a zombie film and I was asked to help. And I was on a break from my summer break from my college. So I'm like, yeah, I could help, but I don't want to be an actor. So I'm like, well, I do makeup. And zombie film, you had like hundreds of volunteers. It was really fun, actually. So I start researching how to do fake zombie thing using whatever at home, touch up food color. And then realize it's actually really fun. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I start getting hired and fly to Singapore or Thailand or Laos, getting free hotel and stuff. And then actually not bad for the, good pay and really enjoying it. And I start seeing more. And I've been also really passionate about social issue. And I can see that if I work on film and being contribute to a lot of, meaningful project, I can send message throughout art and film without vocalize in political ways. So yeah, then I become a makeup artist. Yeah.
So let's talk about your school in America because you focus right now on special effects and prosthetics. So what did you study and where?
In 2016, I get a chance to work with Engineer Julie for First They Killed My Father. The crew found me on social media and get me to be a personal assistant with the head department. And since the project finished, I was seeking for a higher education in makeup. I get introduced to this makeup school in Los Angeles in California. They have scholarship every year. So I'm like, there's a good chance that I can win. I don't know. So I just took the chance, applied for it. And then I end up got top 5 for that one. Yeah. So among like 2,000, 3,000 makeup artists around the world every year competing for that scholarship. It was the best makeup school in Hollywood. I got top 5 and 1 year later with saving, with a lot of sponsor, crowdfunding, I managed to be able to have enough budget to fly out to LA and graduate from Cinema Makeup School. So the school focused on cinema, as the name is, Cinema Makeup School, and TV. So we study design the character digitally, sculpting in real life, or making prosthetic and, working on set in general. And I graduated in 2018, and I've been working in Hollywood since then.
As one of the fewest Cambodians to make it in Hollywood, what would you advise people to do in order to make it too?
I had a lot of that question. How would Cambodian filmmaker join Hollywood? I really have strong belief that all of us, when I work in Hollywood, I always thought like one of my friends that I know in Cambodia would do this amazingly, like with really less budget and so much more effective. I'm sorry to all the Hollywood team. But I keep thinking, if only I could bring my friend from Cambodia and do all this with me right now, I could make this, I could make that. I think I see the potential of the opportunity of growing as a filmmaker in Cambodia, give to people, especially even me. But sometimes it's hard to make them see themselves how far they could be. I take time sometimes to reach out to people that I see that they could go to Hollywood level, and I see that they stuck. Because when you get really good in one point, you have to keep going, right? But then if you're not expanding outside, where would you go? Because I was there, I wasn't able to, I got stuck. I'm like, what do I do now? Because then the local team don't want to, local team think I'm too expensive, or no, Hollywood, I need to go further. So I would reach out. So the first thing I would say is to know that you actually good. You actually, because comparing to a lot of privilege, I would say, to a lot of other people in Hollywood that they get access with all this education material equipment, they still probably do a decent job at work. So we are self-taught. We come from nothing. We have to learn separate language. We make ourselves to do all this. So we actually have a lot of advantage skill. We are flexible. We can deal with stress better because we know what we've been through in Cambodia. We shoot probably 24 hours per day, didn't sleep, and we still keep going. So that power from, mental power actually even better than any film crew I ever worked. We actually work really hard. So I could say, believe in yourself that you actually in that level. We don't think that the other people, because their race define the race and color and country, their region, they're actually better than us. We actually could be in this better if we just put attention on learning, and especially language skill, and also learn about culture, keeping networking, and education, like I say, normal education, even like the way we write email, right? The way we talk to people, represent ourselves as a person, not just the skill that we have, could help us really far with our journey. The other thing that I think that it's really helpful young filmmaker in Cambodia is to save all their portfolio, right? I seen that we had a lot of work and they keep working, but they they was too shy to ask for credit. They were too shy to save all their work in one file and show people and talk about themselves and like, hey, I look at this, I did this, I did this. A lot of us as an artist get really shy when they come to talk about ourselves because we don't feel like, it sounds really obnoxious, like, oh, I'm so good at this. But sometimes it does have in the right time and right moment and the right sentence and the right setting. So collect all your work. With makeup artists, I take photo of all my work. With bad or good, I save it so I can look at it and I can tell myself, wow, it was so bad. Oh, wow, it was so good. It helped us grow, and it helped us when it comes to a right job and opportunity to catch it. We can show to the potential hire client, producer, look what I can do. When I met a few artists and I asked, where is your website or where your portfolio, where's your reel? They didn't have it. They did a lot. They did short film, project, video, whatever their job is. It's all over the place. They didn't put it in one file. And imagine somebody want to hire you. Where can they know what you could do, right? Where can they access to your portfolio if you don't have something to represent? With social media right now, it make everything so easy. Just make a page, just make a website, it's free. Put thing in one place, a small video on YouTube. But They say they want to see what you could do. Send them a link. One click away, you get a job hire. That was like a really small skill beside a skill on set itself, right? It's just that networking, that diplomatic side of us to connect with outsider will bring us really far. I would say the last thing is keep an eye on scholarship. Scholarship happen every day, everywhere. If you don't apply for it, somebody will do. So able to collect your portfolio together, wait for the opportunity, scholarship come, send your portfolio with it, you got it, and then you'll be there. They just need to see what we could do. So in our to show that what we could do, we had to really put it together nicely and get ready for the opportunity, to come. So I think that is the way that we can reach the potential standard. And at the same time, enjoy all this. Enjoy all the free team you have, free location, free project. A lot of us come for coffee and a plate, drinking coffee, like make a short film. We do enjoy that. You would not have that in Hollywood. A lot of people, even students, have to spend $1,000, right, to make a short film. Cambodia have all this free or really nice because we all work from hard, right? I saw that's actually amazing. I miss that. I actually miss working with my friend, just come up with a small project at a coffee store, and it's such a meaningful project. Those actually amazing portfolio when you need to apply for better job and bringing yourself to an outside international level.
So prepare yourself for the opportunity.
Look for it. I would say I have a friend that always get a scholarship in New York, and she graduated from NYU, so a Cambodian woman. Her word that stuck with me and that also gave me the scholarship. Take a day when you think about wanting a scholarship. Take a day, go to coffee shop, search scholarship, search for it. Spend just that one day, search for it. If you look for a film to work on, search for it. You actually can go on Facebook and join LA Film Crew and see what they do over there, because they will post about what they do over there. Everything is on the click of your hand. Search for it, submit, sending email, then you will be there.
That's awesome. So what's the working environment like for you in Hollywood?
The first 2 years was really different. I already been working in Cambodia for 7 years. So Cambodian production are more homey, are more family-like. Everybody to do one person do 5 things. We're always flexible, and whatever obstacle coming our way, we like a really strong team. So there's a lot of I think there's a lot of sentimental value for me that I grow here. Hollywood is another really different. Everything is professional. Everybody just just stick at what you do. So if you are sound, you just do what you do, So in a way, the production have more quality and higher value, but the less sense of family. We're still working really hard together, but because we are so busy doing our own thing, so we don't really get to know each other as much. So it's kind of like the first 2 years was a little lonely, I would say. I was looking for the community I belong to, culture shock, a lot of culture shock. So the culture different. And also America is, a mixing pot of everything, especially California. A lot of things that I need to learn and adjusting to. But because I have, like I say, I'm always thankful that I was able to speak English. So my knowledge of the second language actually helped me a lot to communicate. And I think it's doing better. I'm doing better right now. I start to appreciate all the hard work of everybody more. And then I start learning how to connecting with all the crew, not on set because we're all busy, but then we make time to meet each other after set and stuff like that. So it's actually becoming really fun for me.
So Mong, you have been in the industry for about a decade now. What are some career highlights that you like to talk about?
So I started 2011. It should be almost, it's 10 years, right? Yeah. It was a lot. I don't know how many faces I did paint and makeup on, but I have some favorite moment that changing my career, right? The first one would be the first film I ever did, because that, of course, it introduced me into a whole new world of being a makeup artist. Without that film, that zombie film run, and the team that I grow with, right now some of us still friends, and we still watch each other through social media, and we all have amazing future, all of us doing amazing thing, all of us we just grow together from that small project. I remember it's such a sweet memory, because we all volunteer shooting in a really abandoned building, and we was the first zombie film ever in Cambodia. So it's mean a lot for me for that one. I think after that, a lot of project that I come along, mostly teaching me a lot of lesson of working with different crew and different team. But I think the one outstanding moment was a photo shoot that I did in Singapore, being able to leave the country and know that my art can, bring Cambodia world, like, kind of art to another country also mean a lot to me too. The other one is when I did a film in Laos with a Fulbright scholarship winner, also the first Lao director that got that scholarship for directing, and he come back to Laos to make a film with maybe 11 people in the crew. We were shooting in a place that left with American bomb. And a province called Siem Kuang, and the whole province was full of bomb shells. And we shooting in the real mine bombing area. The film was also another tribute to Lao history, the war and stuff like that. And the crew was all from around the world. We have Filipino crew who I actually met in LA last year and worked together again. That project also taught me how much power film can pull people together, and how much short a 2-minute film mean to the local people. The same thing, I connect to people from different culture on that project, and we still also keep in touch and watch each other grow from that one too. And then, of course, the Angelina Jolie film, which is like my life changing. Without that film, I wouldn't be wanting to go to Hollywood and doing all the stuff that I do. Then I think after I graduate, I did this film that we won an award for a young filmmaker for HBO, and we get the second place for that one. The film was about Chinese American immigrant, because during that time when I first moved to America, after I graduated, I was looking for meaning, working on meaningful project as I did in Asia. And I was having hard time to find a community and what kind of film that I'm passionate at. I know I love sci-fi, but also it's entertaining, but it also doesn't mean, it's meaningful, but to me, related personally. So when I did that film, because it's about immigrant, it's about family, about Asian culture, when then we win the award, and then also the crew was also Asian American. A lot of us are Chinese American, Filipino, Indian. And then I found a new passion, a new inspiration, and a new family that I like, okay, this is what I want to do. So since then, I've been working a lot with Asian project, because also Asian actor have hard time having a good makeup artist, matching skin color. And because I'm experienced with a lot of variety of skin tone, I was able to do quite good job for Asian skin tone. Southeast Asian, we have really little access to a lot of good makeup artists in Hollywood. So when I found that out that I can do that. And so I've been just working with a lot of Asian film right now. I just did the Hmong film, finished a Hmong feature film, which is also the first Hmong feature ever. So yeah, those are my career highlights. Yeah.
So let's go back. Okay. So we heard about your career highlights. That's awesome. So what are some of the mistakes you made along the way that you learn from, that you like to tell other people not to repeat?
I had seen a lot of makeup artists starting doing makeup, and I'm really I'm really excited to see the future of the new generation, because now we are opening up to the world, different type of art and story, and so now our teenager, the young generation, get to see a lot through social media. I would say for a lot of young makeup artists that I see doing thing right now, it's actually really great and going in the right direction. But I feel like the only thing that I would say from my personal experience is, while we are obsessing over or enjoying a new culture, I feel like our base, our tradition, our culture, our history should be also a really strong base before we even reach out to different, art of the world. Because it's actually, for me, it's mean a lot when artists can do and understand their own culture first. Because I like to comparing art to a tree. So if you have a really strong root, and I've been saying that and again, if you can dig into your root and understand your own history and culture and get a really strong base, no matter how far you grow, you would be a really strong tree. But if you just keep thinking about growing really tall, but you didn't really touch base with whatever, your history and culture, you're gonna lose your identity. And there's another million other makeup artists around the world from different countries already, but the one from Cambodia that understand and use Cambodian art combined with this new technology is still limit. So why don't we just observe with what we have? We have such a rich culture. So like, while we're looking at everything around us, like try looking what inside us, like what we have. And I think that is like something I want to send to the new generation. Learn about our culture first, like make it strong and understand our own history. So wherever we go in the world, I'm Cambodian, I know where I'm from, I know my whole history. Be really detailed about it, learn about it. So I think that's gonna make them go really far.
Yeah, and we see that in your work. You see Krot, you see Apsara, you see Keno, and all that. So let's talk about your work a little bit. You work in prosthetic mostly, but I've seen that you also done hairdressers. What is that part of the whole education, or you branch that out on after school?
I think I was kind of like along the way, especially during pandemic. There was like part of me that I want to do something that I could put on social media and entertaining while people staying at home being locked down. And I kind of forced myself to learn to make all those, because, we have to limit contact with people, and I start making my own thing. A lot of time when I come up with an idea of I want to be this character or that character, I have this excitement that I want it to happen right now. Like the next 2 days or the next 3 days, I want to see it because I have picture in my head. So because of that, really impatient feeling, it forced me to learn how to make all those, because I know exactly what I want. I'm not really good at it, but when I get to put it together myself, I feel this satisfaction, that the thing that I want come together, and that I don't know, because in LA also, like, everybody has specialized in different thing and they take time, right? And I don't want to disrespect another artist that make hairdress and like, I want it to the next day. And everybody, of course, busy with their own thing. So making it myself actually helped me, deliver and expressing my art. But I would say if I get to access, like in Cambodia, we have all these headdress and clothing that you can rent. If I get all that and the team can help me, I would not do it, but because I have no choice, so I made it. So that's how I make all those headdress and costume, but it's not my specialty.
The pictures of Red Sarita that I've seen with the hairdressers, they were lovely. How long did it take you to do them?
So the one for Sarita is all made from hair, right? I think I spent at least like a week for each pieces, all day. Because if you zoom into the headdress, it's all hair braiding one by one and then build it together. And it's like probably this tall. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to take picture because the studio side, we wasn't able to take picture for her whole head, but the headpiece go all the way really far. So each of those took me like almost a week. I had a lot of time from COVID, so I'm like, yeah, just take my time and do this. Right now, I'm trying to make like a few more similar style that inspire, but I don't have a week to just braid the hair anymore. So it's actually like COVID. Of all the bad thing that happened, that's one good thing. It's the time for me to braid those headpiece, and it's actually like amazing. I wait almost half of a year to find the right actress to wear it. I made that headdress, and I have a photographer reaching out. We want to shoot together, but we couldn't find a Cambodian model. And based on my experience, I did an Apsara robot inspire makeup, and it was the model were beautiful, but we wasn't able to find a Cambodian person to represent Cambodian culture. So I determined to find a Cambodian woman to wear the headdress. It meant a lot. I have this moment when I was doing the hair, because Apsara headdress was really respectful in our culture. So I actually pray that I will get a good model, and I get this wind blow when I was sitting, a really strong wind, and I'm like, oh, my ancestor is taking care of me. It's super surreal, and I probably just sit around the swimming pool and saw this crazy thing in my head, but I feel like it was a moment that yeah, I'm doing the right thing, and probably there's a spirit taking care of me. And I wait and wait and wait, and when Sarita was in US, I texted her, well, you're in LA, we need to do a photo shoot together. And she's like, yeah, and it's happened, and it turned out perfect because we got the Miss Universe Cambodian to wear the crown. So the project was actually really awesome.
That's awesome. I didn't know that you made the hairdress before you met her. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So how many hours do you usually take to do prosthetic then?
I don't think we did a prosthetic on Sarita for that one.
No.
For just like normal makeup.
Yeah.
A normal prosthetic for film normally take from 2.5 hours. That if it's small pieces, just a cheekbone or little body painting, and with 2 artists working together on the talent, it could take up to 8 hours for a full body with 4 artists working on. Like if you look at some character from X-Men, like Mystique, or the character in Guardian of the Galaxy, or some really big makeup like that, it could take around like 4 or 5 hours with a lot of makeup artists working in one talent. So some of my alien character or sci-fi could take that much. 3 hours, we'll always try to save the production sometime. We'll also always warn them how long it's going to take if you want it to look good. If we do it long enough, or we have a little time to practice or do a makeup test, it's normally we can cut down the makeup time to 2.5 hours. So the production can have time to shoot, because normally shooting time is only 10 hours. So we take that much for makeup. We take a lot of makeup, take a lot of time from production. Yeah.
So recently you shot a short film called That Inside. How long did it take for you to do the zombie makeup?
That's actually only an hour, but also we had 3 people. I was fortunate to have a really awesome assistant. They don't have much experience with makeup, but they have passion, and that's actually help a lot when it's come to building a team. So I found really 2 awesome makeup assistants to help me on that day. So we actually did it for only 2 hours or 1.5 hours just for the whole body paint. My assistant had made the costume and the clothes, like we make it old and aged it before the shoot already, and we pre-paint the prosthetic for the color base and stuff like that. So it saved us a little time. Yeah.
So what inspired you to do That Inside?
It was my first project that I come back to Cambodia. It happened to be Women's Rights Day, and I'm really passionate about women's rights and silence. And as soon as I landed, I got comment left and right about my wage, about my skin color, it's really funny because I understand the culture different, but it's been also 5 years that I didn't hear anybody comment about how I look. I normally people focus on my skill. I'm not the person, interest, but I just want them to look at my work, not me. And also, I think in America, the few good thing is people are really aware of what they say to each other. So I feel pretty good. My confidence has grew a lot. I'm older now. I don't care a lot about how I look as much. I know less vanity, which is also free your soul a little bit because I used to be insecure because living here, you have to know about when you go to a social event and you have to care about a lot about how you look, and I'll be prepping all the time. But I'm different, and I think that's a part that I grow as a person. But soon as I landed here, is how I actually realize how much people putting pressure on women. How you look in certain way, your body, your skin color. I got comment asking, why don't you have whitening lotion in America? Why are you not lighter? Why are you getting bigger, chubbier? Because I'm sweating more because the weather is hotter and stuff like that. They're like, maybe you just fat. I was just like, as much as I prep myself because I know it's gonna happen, but it's still shock. And then I think I'm like, okay, this is a good chance for me. I have a zombie prosthetic. It's Women's Rights Day, and I want to be able to speak, for a lot of women that went through the whole thing. So during the shooting process, I asked all the women in my team, which is 99% of the team was actually women, to write down what hurtful word that they got from people throughout their life in high school or whatever people say that actually scar them. So they all wrote those notes. So when you look at the clip, all the note that I put on the actress, actually from the women in the team, they share what they've been, called, they've been bullied at school. And it's a really nice project. We'll do it really quick, just for a day. It's happened. Everybody's scrambling, helping each other. I did it. It's up. I love it because I miss doing spontaneous project like that, and it's actually really fun for me.
So can you talk to me more about your workshop that you're about to do?
Yeah, so for my workshop, the Apple Special Effect Makeup Masterclass, oh my God, it's so long. It's going to be for 4 days. The class training focus on training a special effect makeup artist, basic skill. I survey around 20 filmmaker, director, and actor that I know in Cambodia to see what actually essential skill that they need the most in film. A lot of them need makeup artists to be able to do really good ball cap to make somebody look bald. We have a lot of story related to monk or shaving their head or somebody got sick. But the application skill from our local makeup artists are still limit because of material and the education, that they can find on the internet. So ball cap, making actual scar or actually make somebody look older, aging, old age makeup as we call, are actually not able to reach that level of professionalism. With all this camera right now that we have HD camera, makeup artists have a lot of pressure. Even the one in working in Hollywood that have access all this material, there's still a lot of technique that we need to learn to achieve the realistic look for the camera, because the camera catch every single detail, and makeup is makeup called makeup for a reason. It's just something you paint and stick on. So it's a lot of technique and skill and precision to make it perfect. So after I had a lot of talk with local filmmaker, I realized I can take a little time of my holiday to my vacation to host this class. It's end up actually taking all my time. It took me a month before I come here to prep because I had to buy material and all that. But I'm happy to do it. So the class, actually, I'm just hoping to give all this access of inside knowledge of what Hollywood makeup artists use to produce a really good, realistic makeup for special effect. And it's also a small step to introduce the local artists to design or to open up their journey to go to a different level of makeup, not only beauty. We can expand more of human resource, you know. So I have seen a lot of big film project coming in Asia, especially even Cambodia. Always have hard time finding makeup artists, and always had to hire other people to come in. So I just hope that all my students that learn from this class, they will get to know all this material, and they will be a good human resource. And then we don't have to hire other people. We have everybody, because camera team, sound team, DP, director, we have amazing skill. But makeup, for some reason, we still stuck in the 5 year before I left. The skill wasn't able to grow because they're really limited resource. So I hope this is a really good chance for the student to see how much they can do, because I believe they can do a lot.
And also that I saw that you also invited a special guest, Ken Diaz.
Yeah, Candy, yes.
Ken Diaz. Would you like to talk a bit about him?
Yeah, Ken and I met back into Engineer Julie Film. He was my head department at Engineer Julie Film. I would call him as my mentor. He always really inspiration. He is my big inspiration in makeup. He's the one who talks to me about Hollywood, and he the one who told me I can do it. I remember one day on film set in Engineer Julie Film. I had a little bit of trouble with the rest of other makeup artist team. And he called me in along with other Hollywood makeup artists and sit me down, and he had a talk with me, and he was like, Apple, look, we love you that we work with you. We love what you do, and we believe you can go really far. And I think to have somebody tell you and believe in you for the first time, and you know, you're from Cambodia, learning from YouTube, and these makeup artists that got Academy Award that actually did Johnny Depp and Pirates in the Caribbean and all amazing things, tell you that you're going to be big one day. And it's really touched a lot. Like it changed my perspective of who I could be. So when I told him that I'm coming back to my country, it's my first time coming back to Cambodia, I want to host a class. Would you want to be, you know, sharing your experience to the other makeup artists? And he been in Cambodia, and he's seen the country, and through me, he's seen a lot of struggle of a Cambodian person try to achieve a level of professionalism. So he's like, yeah, of course. He's like, I would be happy to do that. So he will be joining us through a video call and answer question from the student, and hopefully, you know, inspire them, let them know that this journey is difficult, but he's with them and he with us, he see us. And it's actually mean a lot to me. And I hope the student can see that too. And it's a really small class, but I was hoping to produce a really quality class. So that is a heart-to-heart conversation became, I think, that a really great opportunity for the student.
That's great. I'm glad that he showed his support and tell you so, because most of us needs just to hear someone believing in us to follow our dreams. Okay. So before we wrap up, let's talk about your creativity. You got a lot of inspiration from the Cambodian roots, Cambodian history, and you mostly do prosthetic and hairdressers right now, but you also venture out to do jewelries. So, so you have another business called Kamisa. What would you like to talk to us about it? Like how it started and all that?
So my stores also start during pandemic. I also can sculpt and I can design thing, and I feel like Cambodian women have a lot of accessory and art, especially as you see in Angkor, sculpture and all this the amazing design on the temple. And we always have a really hard time accessing, especially Cambodian American, accessing to the pop culture art that relate to our culture. Besides normal t-shirt and a few chroma and all that, we actually have a lot of design that we can use to create a modern jewelry. So I opened the store hoping that I can connect with a lot of Cambodian women around the world, which I actually did throughout the jewelry art. They saw it and they want to do it. I started off with making rumdul, our national flower, and then using Apsara design or using Angkor Wat, making little earring with pop color. Right now, I'm kind of a little far away from the business because film is picking up and it take all my time right now. So those jewelry take me a lot of time. Some pieces take me a whole day, from sculpting it, putting it in the oven, and then packing it, taking picture. And I was one woman running everything from accounting and to marketing and stuff. So it took me a little time to make all that. I think it's a really interesting business, and I'm really happy I get a chance to expressing my art doing all that. I hope it could grow bigger, but also at the same time, I have to still see how it go because, of course, my makeup is still my main focus. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you are one woman doing a lot of things. What advice would you give to your 15-year-old self? Let's say goodbye, basically.
Oh my God, me at 15, what do? I'm probably instant crying. 15 years old. Yeah. I've definitely changed a lot as a person from 15, right? That's like a decade ago. I would say I would tell her that please don't think you're ugly. I really thought it wasn't pretty. I look at the photo when I go to my hometown last week, and I'm like, oh my God, I was okay looking. But also, I think that song actually also helped because it pushed me to learn really hard in my class. Because I'm like, in my mind, if I'm not as good looking, at least I have education. So I was always on the top of my class. But then, just so probably, yeah, please, life gonna be okay. Just probably gonna tell, I think if my 15 years I see myself right now, she probably really surprised what I can become. I never thought I would become who I am today. So yeah, just believe in yourself and just keep going. Education first for sure, boy later. So I think I go by that motto, that life lesson, boy can come first, boy can come later, education first. So yeah, that's it. Probably just stick with education, mess around with whatever later when you got education first. Yeah.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Thank you so much.